Welcome to the Extraordinary Culture Podcast. Podcast for the culture that is music, movies, sports, food, and beer. The Extraordinary Culture.
This month we do have a special treat. We were asked by a music competition to take part and discuss the competition that they're putting on together. So a buddy of mine in a Punk Rock Dads Facebook group hosts a competition called The Last Song Playing, and that's presented by Wayne Smith Music. And what he does with this is he helps promote childhood cancer awareness and pieces like that. And this particular competition is all acoustic. So this is the 5th version of Last Song Playing that he's doing, and it's an all acoustic edition. So there are 16 artists that are going to be featured on his Facebook page, Wayne Smith Music. And what he's going to do is it's going to be a competition. So you're voting to see who you want to advance into the next round. So we've had an opportunity to listen to all these songs. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go ahead and give our take on some of this stuff. So what I did is I pulled up the bracket.
Yeah. Oh, you have the bracket?
Yeah, I have the bracket.
Okay, I didn't have a bracket.
No,
so.
me neither.
And it's pretty much straightforward in order that it is on the YouTube page for the for Wayne Smith Music. It's literally 1 and 2. One is competing against number 2, 3 is competing against number 4.
Oh.
So if you're on that page, it's pretty straightforward to follow.
Okay.
So for example, Quiet Room is competing against Tara Lee's Been Crying.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right. And that, I think, is going to be one of those tough matchups because those are both really good songs.
Yeah, I thought those were both really good.
Yeah. The first two, edged out with a little bit more with the Tara Lee's Been Crying for me. It just sounded a little bit more polished. The first one was good. I mean, I'm no musician, but the second, Tara Lee's Been Crying just seemed a little more polished to me.
Is that how we're going to go through this? Are we going to go through the entire bracket like that?
We're going to go through kind of song by song and just give some of our highlights for every song.
Okay.
You know, emphasizing that. Let's kind of let the voter decide on what their personal favorite song is.
Okay.
But apparently Xavier really liked Tara Lee's Been Crying. I thought it was good, too. It gave kind of that autobiographical style.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't catch on, and I didn't see any information on that, but it kind of was I know he was talking about his grandmother, and then Tara Lee, is Tara Lee his daughter? Or is Tara Lee his grandmother?
I don't know. I didn't catch that. I can honestly say, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Did I listen to them all? Yeah, I listened to them all. Did I catch all the lyrics? No, I didn't catch all the lyrics. So I'm going to follow you along with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that song was really good too. And then didn't it have something to do with a yodel? Did I see something about that? Didn't he have yodel in the title? So I kind of expected something to do with that, which not in a traditional sense. It wasn't like a jeweled yodel or anything, but and I thought it was pretty good. I think I like the other one actually. I think I like Quiet Room a little more. I think I got I don't know, maybe some bands you guys don't necessarily know, but I got a real Far Side vibe from Quiet Room. Like I don't know why it reminded me of the band Far Side, not the rap band, the Revelation Records band Far Side.
Right.
I think it was because of the acoustic thing. And his voice, and he kind of
I get you, man. He's one of those guys that I always liken it to Chuck Reagan. I go, Chuck Reagan is one of those guys who he's acoustic, but he still rocks.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt about with Charlie Cole and Quiet Room. It was one of those acoustic songs, but it was still really rocking. It was just a lot of grit to it and a lot of that punk vibe. And you're like, wow, for an acoustic song, this can really jam.
Yeah. I did like the other one, though. I really actually liked the other one. I got a Canadian psychobilly band, the Matadors. I got that kind of vibe from the second song because there's a lot of like hoedown style music, kind of like what do you call that?
Cowpunk?
No, not cowpunk. Hillbilly, like hillbilly style.
Like bluegrass country western?
Yeah, a little bit more bluegrass.
Yeah, a little bit of bluegrass.
Yeah, that kind of nails it. It had that vibe to me. Slow, because the
Matadors,
are slow like that. They start off like that.
Do you listen to a lot of Tim Berry solo, Dan?
No, but I have heard some of it, so I can get that vibe too. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, definitely some of that Tim Berry vibe too. So that's going to be a tough matchup. The next one is Danny Druff. I think it's listed as Danny Walters as well. It's Psalm 42 versus Zach Hope's Disaster. And Psalm 42, it surprised me because, immediately coming in with Psalm 42, you have an idea what's going on in your head. And yeah, there's a religious tone to it, but it's not a bad song at all. It's a really well-written song.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to read Psalm 42 to see if that was exactly what it was about. But like, both of these songs have very religious overtones, and both of them are like the theme for them is like God knows you're in trouble and that He will help you through your troubling times,
right?
And that like whatever you've been through, God is there to help you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna like Xavier. I'm gonna say I'm a little bit of a musician. I know some very basic stuff on the guitar and the bass. I definitely wouldn't call myself a musician, but I do know some of it. So I respect anybody that has the guts to pick up an instrument and write their own song, and definitely to turn on a camera and perform that song. But I just wasn't into these two. I just couldn't get into it. I respected it. I listened to it. I thought it was okay, but it was just not my cup of tea, like at all. I give the edge a little bit to the second song on that list, but just not my cup of tea. And again, that's my opinion. It's not, I give full respect to the guys doing it 100%.
Yeah.
But just not my cup of tea.
I think the challenge of that competition is going to be the guy with the camera recording himself versus Disaster had a much higher production value.
Yes, it did.
There was a use of harmony and there was an arrangement in it, and that was well done.
Yeah. No, so it was. I enjoyed it. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's definitely good enough so people are gonna like it. It's just that's not the style of music that I'm into necessarily. So
right.
Nothing there. That's fine.
Yeah. Third competition is Sadie Rock and the Mad Ryans. It's the Smiley song versus Undercurrents Back and Forth. Both good songs. I have to admit, though, the Undercurrent song, the Back and Forth, was probably one of my favorite songs in the competition. I think it has a solid chance of taking this entire thing.
That was a really, really good song.
Yeah.
The production was really good. And again, that doesn't necessarily make it. It doesn't necessarily make it because we've listened to, how many tapes did we own of demo tapes of bands that we really liked that were the tape quality was just absolute crap.
Yeah.
It was. Of course. That has nothing to do with it. But that song was really good. Like, that could be a band I thought, you know what, I could probably listen to this, and I could probably, as weird as this one sounds, I could probably get my daughter into that band. Like, she has one of those bands.
This is one of those bands we definitely would have seen at shows, years past for sure. It sounded like it was an electric song that they did an acoustic version of to me.
Yes, definitely. Because
it had that feel.
It also was fast enough that you could hit this is played on an electric guitar. This could.
Yeah.
That is not, though, to take away from Sadie Rock and the Mad Ryans, the Smiley song. I like that song. I found the lyrics to be funny. Props for talking about dropping Duff McKagan in the lyrics. I thought it was just almost like a tongue-in-cheek song. Like, this song is supposed to be kind of silly, That's kind of what I thought. But I really did.
It had like a Lily Allen vibe for me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And with a name like the Smiley song, you're gonna see that. I Love You More Than Vintage Band shirts, Chocolate Ice Cream, Duff McKagan.
Yeah.
Pieces like that. Actually, again, it gave me a vibe. Just the way the lyrics were, it gave me a vibe. I used to listen to a band years ago called RMS Olympic, and he did a similar song where it was, I like Star Wars and I like Doctor Who, but not as much as I like you.
Yeah.
And it took me back to that. It gave me back that vibe. So, two very different styles in that one. So, that's a challenge. It's going to be a tough challenge for anybody to take that one.
Yeah, I'd give the edge to Undercurrents, but I kind of almost wish Sadie Rock had been in a different bracket.
Yeah, that's the underdog right there. But I think they could take it. There's a possibility still.
So yeah, I thought both two really good songs, two of my favorites on this comp.
Yeah. Competition 4 is Lenny Lenape One and All versus the Hunter Lee Project's Unknown Roads. These were two of a little bit of the slower songs.
Yeah, well, one of them was an instrumental, no?
Yeah, Hunterly was an
Yeah.
instrumental. And that's one of those ones I totally see in a soundtrack of a movie where you got that wide span of the wide open space, and there's like one person hiking home or something like that. Like I could totally see it in a movie soundtrack or score.
It was good, improperly placed. I don't know. I mean, I understand the whole thing is acoustic, and it definitely was acoustic, but it was, more of a soundtrack to a movie than it was something that I necessarily turn into a competition. And
like
go ahead.
exactly what you're saying. Like, these like songs, like the other two were like very upbeat songs, and then you had these songs in the middle of the competition because I just listened to them straight in order.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yeah,
then,
we all did.
And then for this to be like almost in the middle of the competition, it's like, what's going on? But both great songs. I enjoyed them both. I really enjoyed the instrumental one because like, okay, I don't have to listen to the lyrics and pay attention and find little hidden meanings in it. So I just was able to enjoy the music.
Which is kind of the exact opposite of One and All. One and All was one of those ones that I was trying to find the meaning of, because he was kind of very, very broad with the lyrics, but it was is it a song about being on the road? Is it a song about religion? Is it a song about his love? That One and All. It's kind of like he hints at being half the man he used to be because he's become unsightly, and it was easy to catch the lyrics of that song, so I caught on to him really quick, and it was a short song, so he was repetitive with some of those pieces, so it made it, you were talking about the simplicity of Unknown Roads, and there's a slight complexity to One and All that's ambiguous.
Yeah, well, one of the things, I don't know if you feel the same. Again, this is just my opinion. No one has to, necessarily agree to this, but when there's something to be said about an acoustic song when it's just the music, because depending on what kind of patterns you're strumming and how the music goes, I don't want to say it's not memorable because that's not what I'm saying, but it tends to sound all kind of the same if you're strumming, especially if it's a little bit. It was a slower song, but it wasn't a completely slow song. So he was strumming. Right. If I remember the song correctly, and I haven't listened to it in a couple of days, remember the song correctly, he's strumming more than he's actually picking, like, some scales. So in that case, it tends to, if you're not well versed in music, and not that I am, but it tends to sound kind of the same. Like, it's just like I heard this kind of somewhere else. Not a bad song, but it didn't stick out. It didn't stick out to me necessarily from anything else. Partially because I had listened to a bunch of songs that had lyrics, and then all of a sudden I come across just an acoustic song that's an instrumental. And because I can't remember, was there any like picking on here where it was just like there was a solo or he's playing some progression on a blues scale or anything? I don't remember that.
Not that I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, so that didn't, it just that part didn't stick out for me. So it was like, and I kept waiting for it. It's one of those songs where I listened to it and it was good, but I kept waiting, like, is this going to have lyrics? And then, you get about a minute and a half in and you realize, no, this isn't going to have any lyrics, So, okay, that's what it is. And now the cover of it, like, kind of fits, because it's the coverative is just, I don't know if that's Hunter Lee just kind of laying on top of a little cliff there next to the ocean, just kind of laid back, and that's kind of the vibe you get from the entire song. It's just kind of this laid back thing. So, not bad, different, not bad, but just, a little different in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what
I liked One and All. It was a catchy tune.
Yeah, out of the two, that gets my vote out of the two, but it was a short song. I did notice that too.
Yeah, it was very short.
At just over 2 minutes, it was pretty short.
The next competition is, honestly, I think it's going to be the one. It's going to be the tightest of the competition, and I really think that one of these two, if the winner of this has a really, really strong chance of taking the entire thing, it was Still Small Voices. So Last Year.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And All System Goes Rom-Com.
Yeah. They
were both, they could be breakout songs, in my opinion. These could be, radio singles or, a soundtrack song that breaks out from a movie soundtrack. Something like that, in just kind of a good old contemporary vibe.
Was it one of these that kind of gave me a Bayside vibe? Like an acoustic Bayside vibe?
Maybe.
The second one, maybe? Or actually, maybe Still Small Voice? remember which one gave me like I got a Bayside like acoustic vibe out of one of those. Where it could be because Bayside's kind of got like they're not played necessarily on the radio, but you see how they could be, and it would be
It could
like
easily be, yeah.
kind of a sleeper song on the radio. Those two songs are kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I do remember listening to both of those, thinking, okay, either one of these two songs I could hear on the radio. Like that.
Yeah,
that could be
and
something I
that's
heard
my
on the
point.
radio.
If these songs weren't competing against each other, they would have won their brackets easily.
Mm-hmm. I think so. So this, like I said, it's the tightest battle, and I think one of these has a really good strong chance of going all the way.
I don't know that I had either one of those songs edge out the other one. I thought they were both good, and both songs I thought.
Yeah, and I agree.
I could hear these on some kind of contemporary radio.
Even my notes here, I put, they're both breakout songs. I put, strong voices, kind of adult contemporary vibe, and literally at the other side of the notes, I put same thing. Because it was just that tight and that close of a competition between the two. That's going to be up to the voters, definitely. Competition 6 is Bad Years, Lost the War. And RK Radio's Cries of Meh Ring.
That's it. I almost thought it was merengue. So.
That's what I thought it was too.
Merengue.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it is merengue, but
Yeah.
it's meh, as in meh.
Yeah.
Because if you look into the notes on YouTube, it's a quarantine collaboration.
No, that's definitely. Well, the video.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought the video was pretty smart for being that. I thought it was actually kind of cool for being that. That one's almost a little unfair. The Bad Year song is definitely that's the higher production quality. That's a full on that's a music video. But I didn't think the RK Radio song was bad at all. Actually, I really
No,
I
it was
thought
a good
that
song.
It was long.
I really enjoyed that one a lot.
That's probably actually the longest song on the comp.
It had the electric guitar in the background.
Yeah.
It was acoustic driven, but the arcade radio song had that electric guitar in the background.
And,
Really indie rock style to it.
And with that one, that's the one that made me think, okay, when I was listening to this, I thought this was like a very religious overtones to most of these songs. And with that one, I go, okay, this is not like all religious songs. I mean, and then there's nothing wrong with that. I thought that that's
right.
what it is, he might have been going for, and we just had to look for it. But I said, okay, no. And then like with the rest of the songs that are on the list, you find out, oh, has nothing to do with
once you hit the end of the bracket, that's where you see the change in that tone, definitely. They're both good songs. Two very different styles though, with the Bad Year and the Arcade Radio.
Yeah, it was. I don't know that I have necessarily anybody that edges anybody out in that one. I'll leave that one to the listeners. I did enjoy them both. I thought the production quality of the Bad Year song was a lot higher than the No Vacancy media song there, but I enjoyed it, and I thought the video was clever for being a quarantine thing because it kind of had shifts in it, and the way they put the video together itself, I thought was actually kind of cool. So I like
well produced. It's a well produced, clean, melodic, fun song. Yeah. And the other one is the opposite again, but it was another really fun song.
Yeah.
So number 7. These were two very fun songs. The First Rule, Racist Are Assholes, and Johnny B. Morbid's Last Day Alive.
This is almost not fair to me. This is actually almost not fair to me because these are probably two genres that I really enjoy, which is kind of the horror, punkish type stuff, and just the a little bit more of the punk rock edge kind of thing. I don't have a clear winner in that. I want to like both songs.
They're both great songs.
The First Rule song I thought was funny. I thought it was going to be a joke, but it kind of went into it almost taking it seriously, and it was actually the lyrics were still a little funny, but it was like, yeah, no, this guy's right. This guy's right.
No, it was completely right, man. And again, it's another quarantine song. That's what I was gonna
say. Like, you could tell this song was made after all the shit that's gone on through this year that we've always talked about. Like, they go, racists are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade.
You're gonna be singing along with it by the end of that song. Because it's really easy just to start singing racists are assholes. But Johnny B. Morbid, man, that was another really good song. It was that dark acoustic, pieces where, it's another downer, and it could almost be a quarantine song at this point too.
Yeah, and the cover that they put on here, I mean, looks so much just like an Independence, the ska band Independence, or a Blitz Kid. It's got that kind of vibe to the artwork in it. Really good. Like I said, almost not fair that I would have to pick between. I'm glad I don't have to. Well, necessarily, unless I go vote. I'm glad I don't necessarily have to pick between those two because I wouldn't know who to pick.
Let's just be lucky it's not a wrestling three-way dance, because competition 8 has Evan French's "I Want to Play Music" versus Jack 13 Panzercrow's "Night Ride 3." And honestly, Dan, I thought "Night Ride 3" was going to be your favorite song on the comp.
Yeah, I just actually listened to it not that long ago, and it kind of I don't know my favorite song. It was really good. It had that dark vibe to it completely. That's a clear cut winner in which case.
Yeah.
In this case.
Not to take away from Evan French though, he did a good song. It's a storyteller type song, total singer songwriter storyteller. It gave me a homeless gospel choir vibe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
another short one.
It was another short song, just over 2 minutes, but that homeless gospel choir type vibe, singer songwriter, it's not gonna go without a fight. It's something that's going to be a tough. You either love that style or you love the dark punk, and it's going to be a tough choice for some people. I know for you, Dan, it's not a tough choice.
No, it's my genre.
But for me, it is, because I really like Night Ride. It was an awesome song, but at the same token, man, there's that witty storyteller charm. If you've ever seen Homeless Gospel Choir, and this is not Homeless Gospel Choir, but if you ever seen him, you get that, oh, god damn, this is just fun. It's sweet. And I get that same vibe here. It's just, oh, this is just a fun song, almost self-depreciating sometimes. And that's the same. It belongs. There's a place for it, and it belongs somewhere, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, so that takes us through the
I enjoyed that one because it's everything that quarantine is. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be playing music, but I just want to go out again. I mean, I want to go out and have dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And not worry about it.
Do something
different. So it's a great competition for last song playing, number 5-AA, standing for All Acoustic. Please check out Wayne Smith Music on Facebook, and you can also find Wayne Smith Music on YouTube. And listen to all these songs for yourself. Go to Facebook, vote daily. The competition begins Friday the 25th. So go check that out. Thank you, Wayne, for giving us the opportunity to be part of this. If you don't know who we are, we're the Extraordinary Culture Podcast. We're from Southern California, and we do a monthly podcast on music, movies, food, sports, beer, the Extraordinary Culture. Give us a check out, too. We're available on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. We're on YouTube as the Extraordinary Culture Podcast. You can even ask your smart homes to play the Extraordinary Culture Podcast, and they'll play it right there from your Alexa or your Google Home. You can also find us on Instagram at ZXO Culture, Facebook at EXO Cult, and Twitter at EXO Cultcast. Oh, we just joined on to TikTok. We made it before the band. We are also EXO Cult on TikTok. So thanks for listening. Catch you soon.